I do think KD regrets using the word toxic. I think because that's really what the problem was. But his basketball critique was fairly accurate. Like, role players all want to go play with LeBron. If you're a star in your own right, a superstar, you typically have to step back and fit in with what I call the LeBron system. We saw it with Wade. We saw it with Kyrie, Bosh, Kevin Love. That's what KD was talking about. Guys that have fit in with him in Miami, you had Kyle Korver.
Yes, Ray.
I'm sorry, in Cleveland. Ray,
in Miami,
Mike Miller, Shane Battier.
Exactly.
He said no problem recruiting in Miami, but those were role players.
Yes.
So I think star players, if you want to prove to others and yourself you can lead a team, you may not want to go play with LeBron.
Well, so here, I think that being the Robin to LeBron's Batman has been a good deal for guys. For
Yes.
D-Wade, it was great because it was at that point in his career, there's only 1 year, the first year, that Wade was still really in the discussion of one of the 5 best players in the world. His body was starting to fail beginning with year 2, and it ended up being great. They won a couple championships. They got to a third finals after they won those 2 titles. For Kyrie, it was great for him. He got playoff experience, finals experience, proved to the world he's a killer, and now got his own team in Boston, or a close facsimile to his own team. Being what I would call the Alfred, the third wheel, has been really tough on guys. Chris Bosh, who I think has a great relationship with LeBron. I've talked with Chris Bosh about this. It was hard for him. And he called Kevin Love and let him know, this is going to be hard for you, man. And for Kevin Love.
And it was.
And it was.
It was hard for Wade and Kyrie, too.
But it was.
They benefited, and Bosh benefited. He'll probably be a Hall of Famer.
Right, and Kevin Love got a max contract and an NBA championship out of it. And so, but it was really tough on him. So, and even when Love was elevated to number 2 last year, the scrutiny of all those finals runs, all of those games, wore on him mentally. We know that. But I also think it's important that when we're talking about superstars in this league, we got to be honest that's a finite resource, right? So who are Giannis is not going there. James Harden's not going there. Steph's not going there, right? So now we're down to just a few names. Kevin Durant's a free agent. I guess that's possible, but it would be shocking to me. Kawhi Leonard's the guy that everyone has circled, but I think that Kawhi right now, it would be a coin flip which team in Los Angeles he wants to go to. And then there's Anthony Davis, who's not even a free agent yet. They would have to trade for. That's your list of guys. Maybe you want to include Russ, but Russ obviously ain't available either. So everyone else is that next level of player. Jimmy Butler would be excellent. Klay Thompson would be excellent. But that is a tier beneath when we're talking about superstars in this league. So we got to be honest about who these actual people are, and that if they strike out on Kawhi, and if the Celtics trade for Anthony Davis this summer, there's nobody left.
I think Kawhi will go to the Clippers. I think the guy we're talking about is Anthony Davis. Now, I think
so.
Butler
You think right now you think Kawhi?
I think he's going to go to the Clippers.
And why is that?
I think he still wants to be in L.A. And I think Kawhi wants his own team. I think, and again, like I said, I don't have a problem with guys not wanting to play second fiddle.
Neither.
I actually like that attitude of wanting to prove that I'm the man. And Kawhi Leonard, if you look at that Clippers team, you got Doc Rivers, a championship coach. You got some great role players around you.
Harrell's playing great.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris, my guy Boban. Like, they got a nice team.
You're missing
there.
the man.
What?
You're missing the guy.
Right, they need him.
Because they got 2
They
max
got room
spots.
for 2. KD, I agree with you. I don't see him going to L.A. I think he wants to
You mean the
compete.
Lakers?
The Lakers.
But you
Clippers
say that,
would make sense.
But also his last time in free agency, you talk about the intel that he got in the Clippers, and he was very impressed with them. So they might be back into it.
I agree. I think the Clippers could be a factor.
And then that leaves Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is the guy.
Lakers.
And LeBron mentioned recruiting. Obviously, you think free agents. But there's it could be some recruiting with Anthony Davis because he's going to have to tell other teams or through his agent, he's only going to re-sign with the Lakers.
And and by the way, Danny Ainge is not trading Jason Tatum for 1 year of Anthony Davis.
Right.
He wouldn't trade him for 1 year of Kawhi Leonard. He ain't trading him for 1 year. Like, the Celtics obviously can trump this offseason what the Lakers can offer.
Yes.
But only if they're going to actually offer those guys up. You follow me? Like, they have a much better cachet of resources. But if Tatum's off the board, Jaylen Brown's stock is dipping, then it changes the thing. It's also why I think it's being talked about now. Right now, the Celtics can't trade for Anthony Davis. Not allowed to. They have Kyrie Irving.
Right.
It's a weird thing in the CBA. Just trust me. You can't have Anthony Davis right now on the team with Kyrie Irving because they're both on designated player extensions. So the Lakers could be the only team in the market for him before this deadline, which is why every time New Orleans loses, like it did yesterday, where Davis plays great and they lose again, like that's good news for the Lakers. Right now, the Pelicans have the second worst record in the conference, and Anthony Davis is playing great. That's good news for the Lakers.
Yeah, I just think LeBron, he gets a bad rap just based on everything else around him. He's gotten so much attention, and his inability, or people even saying that, to draw a superstar, I believe it's one of those urban legend type things. Because he mentioned in the interview with Rachel Nichols that he almost revealed a big name that, now we know that Paul George was coming.
Right.
Like, we know that he was coming.
What he was thinking.
Yeah, so we know that he was coming there, so he didn't have that feeling. But since I've been watching the NBA and been a fan of the NBA, I have always seen these tandem. There's always been a struggle for that second player. You go all the way back to Kareem when he was called the captain. They drafted Magic Johnson. They won that first championship with Kareem being hurt. Kareem had to take second fiddle in that organization to Magic. That hurt Kareem. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Man, it was rough on Scottie his first 5 years. Man, he got criticized an awful lot, but he grew into that role. So all these tandems that I have seen the last 30 years, it's always been rough on that second guy. With LeBron, it will always be rough because of the scrutiny.
Well, Anthony Davis is the perfect guy. Like, you look at Kawhi, Durant, where they're at in their careers, it might be a harder sell to get to play with LeBron. Anthony Davis, the sell is, look, go to the Lakers, win a championship with LeBron, him still being the man, and then in 2-3 years, it'll be your team. Kind of learn under LeBron.
And for the next 10 years, you know you're guaranteed this with the Lakers. They're going to go after superstars.
Right.
That's their history, and they got a tremendous draw there.
The Lakers are never going to go through a drought because they've never gone through a drought because they're in Los Angeles and they are the single most marquee franchise in the sport. And so
people thought about the Knicks too.
But the Knicks haven't won a title since '73. The Lakers have won 17 of them. The Lakers won championships in every decade except for the 90s, and all they did in the 90s was they made the finals once, and they had won 5 in the 80s, and they won 5 in the 2000s. Like, the Lakers have never had a drought. The Knicks have a great city and arena and legend, but the last championship they won, my man Walt Frazier was out there. Like, it's been 45 years. The Lakers are in a different boat than everybody else. They will always draw people.